soapbox and see what it's like.
Hey guys, welcome to Ring Awareness. This is your host, Adam Merrick, once again. And I know what you're thinking. Adam, it's only been a week since your last show. Well, guess what? We've got a huge thing happening this week here in the Albuquerque area, over in Rio Rancho. We've got WWE Live going down this Sunday at 5 o'clock from the Santa Ana Star Center. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to get a bonus episode of Ring Awareness in. So this is episode 12, and joining me this show is my former guest, my former colleague, Mr. Tony Davis.
Yes, glad to be back, Adam.
Heck yeah, glad to have you, buddy. And making her debut on Ring Awareness, give it up for Maria.
Hey, how's it going? Awkward human being in the house.
Maria, so this is your first time, unlike Tony, this is your third
I'm
show.
a veteran at this point.
You're a vet, man.
If there's going to be a Ring Awareness Hall of Fame, I'm the first inductee.
I think you might have a valid claim for that, buddy.
I think you're ready, brother.
Maria, why don't, since this is your first time being on the show, why don't you go ahead and let us know how you became a wrestling fan, what's your background as far as why you're here?
Yeah, well, it's actually a funny story how I became a wrestling fan. It was mainly because I was being nosy, and I was wondering what my brother and my dad were getting up to, so I came and I snuck inside the living room, and I crept behind the couch, and I was like, what are they watching? What is this? And I can't remember what match it was, but it was like a Divas match.
Okay.
And it was like a title opportunity on a pole match, and it was for Trish Stratus's women's title in 2004.
Oh, okay.
And then I was just like, wow, this is awesome, this is great. And I don't know, just something happened, and now 10 years later, still a wrestling fan.
Nice.
Watching faithfully.
So it just clicked for you, and it was, once you saw it, you were hooked.
Yeah, for sure.
So you started later than myself and Tony, which we were Attitude Era vets.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
How have you enjoyed, it's been just over a decade since you started watching, how have you enjoyed the product evolving from when you first started watching to where it is today?
Just watching it evolve, like you said, is what I've enjoyed most. Just seeing, the development of different superstars, let's say, Randy Orton, when he was, I started when they formed Evolution, basically.
Right.
And now to see him now, when Evolution came back, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like nostalgia from when I first became a wrestling fan. So,
yeah.
Different stuff like that. And now more recently, not just WWE, but I always feel like a total noob because I didn't know about, the independents or, TNA, rather, or anything. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, so I'm I'm so underexposed with things. So, yeah, I think that WWE was kind of just the gateway for me to love professional wrestling in general.
Gateway drug.
Yeah, I need my fix.
Yeah, it's right now, just the talent that's in WWE is ridiculous because I didn't really have that much of a knowledge of what was going on the independent scene, and now that I had a knowledge and now I see these guys coming into WWE, it's just awesome because I've seen what these guys can do on the indies.
Yeah.
Guys like Jon Moxley, guys like Sami Callihan, guys like Tyler Black, and now seeing them in WWE is very cool. But that's awesome. I'm glad that you're here. Glad that you made the far drive to be on Ring Awareness. The main reason you're here, obviously, is for tomorrow night's show. I know myself, Tony's going to be there.
Yes, absolutely.
For WWE at Rio Rancho. Again, it starts at 5 o'clock at the Star Center. Originally, we were going to see Daniel Bryan in a WWE title match. That was the main reason I wanted to go. I don't know about you guys, but for sure I want to see D-Bry defend the belt. Unfortunately, with his injury, that's not happening. But still, we've got a packed show. We've got a packed house coming. Before we get into what's going down at Rio Rancho, do you guys have stories, Tony, as far as a favorite maybe house show moment?
So my favorite house show moment to date, and Adam, you were there to share this with me. It was, I think it was either last year or the year before. It was you, me, Mr. RKO, Cal Neese was there too, a few of his friends. We were all sitting kind of towards the top. But CM Punk had just come down to the ring, and they were getting ready to start the match, and we all just started chanting, "We want ice cream." Over and over and over again. And CM Punk looked at us for a second and went back into the ring and started focusing, and we just kept going. We just kept chanting.
Yeah.
And eventually he looked at us again, turned back away. We kept chanting, and it started getting louder. Other people around us started jumping in. And then he looked at us one more time, and he kind of did the whole little ice cream eating motion.
Yeah.
And we just lost it at that point. That was fantastic. Awesome. That's got to be my favorite story so far.
Because that was around the time that was during the whole Summer of Punk thing.
Yeah, it was.
So that was 2011?
Yeah, so it was 2011. It was during the Summer of Punk thing where
he had just
It was
come
after
back.
the pipe bomb.
Right,
Talking about
right.
bringing back ice cream bars.
Because it
all
was
for CM Punk.
Yeah.
right. I think it was like in November because he had just won. It was just before Survivor Series, and he was getting ready to win the title.
Yeah.
From Del Rio. Yeah, dude, that was an awesome moment because we got. I remember you got the tickets for free.
Yes.
I remember that.
You told us about
Yeah.
the tickets for free, so we
I
all
told
just
you.
went over to the CW to
Yeah,
get them.
right. I remember that.
And so we all wound up together, and it was amazing.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome, dude. I remember screaming like schoolgirls whenever he pointed and did the eating ice cream motion.
Yeah.
That was a great moment, man. Maria, can you top that moment? House
Oh
show.
man, I don't know if I can top that moment because most of my moments haven't been really anything too extraordinary, but I can tell you about the little thing I like to call the Randy Orton curse.
Okay, Randy Orton curse.
Yeah, for sure. Because with every house show that I've been to, with the exception of this one coming up, he has never been there. And
Really?
the reason he has never been there for everyone is because either when they did the brands, either it was SmackDown that was here and he was on Raw,
Oh, okay.
or Raw would come and he was on SmackDown,
Uh-huh.
or he had gotten hurt, or he had gotten suspended. So
Oh,
it was
no.
either those 4 reasons why I've never seen him, and he's been my favorite for like as long as I can remember. He's definitely been like my top 3
Wow.
favorite, and he's been one of my favorites for a long time. So I'm like, finally, it's my chance to see him. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm just crossing my fingers, be like, please don't anything happen.
It's
Don't-
gonna come out today that something happened to him at a SmackDown
Oh,
tapings.
no.
He stubbed his toe.
Yeah.
You can't.
He will
can't.
not
Yeah.
be here.
You got cramps.
Yeah.
So you're a big Randy Orton fan. I think we
Yes.
need to get you and Kyle on an episode because he hates Randy Orton. I don't know if you heard, but he despises Orton. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't hate Orton. I think he's a good worker.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not a freaking huge supporter of his at all. And but still, I guess I'm indifferent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that pre-ordered his DVD when they said they were gonna make a documentary of him. So I was like, pre-order, let's do it right now.
Oh no way!
Yeah, it's like one of those.
That's awesome. So if you happen to meet Randy Orton tomorrow
Oh,
in Rio
Jesus.
Rancho,
Plan my obituary. I lived fast, died hard.
Well, I'm gonna share a house show moment of my own. I don't remember the year. It probably was 2002, far before you became a wrestling fan, Maria. But Tommy Dreamer, we were sitting front row, and Tommy Dreamer was doing a gimmick where he was just being just this gross guy, and he was just eating gum off of chairs and just doing the nastiest stuff. So he was in the ring. He was wrestling. I forgot who, but one of the guys I was with, one of my friends, he had a soda, and Tommy Dreamer reached over the barricade, lifted up my friend's soda, or maybe he got it from his hand. I can't remember. And he just starts chugging this soda. That was my friend. My friend had been drinking the entire show long. Tommy Dreamer was just chugging it, and we go crazy. Yeah. So.
I paid for that soda, but it's fine.
Yeah. It was totally cool. Again, being front row. You guys, have you ever been front row for a WWE show?
I haven't, but I'm second row. So
Oh, are
I'm
you?
excited. So.
That's cool. Front row, honestly, nothing beats front row. I've had the fortune to do it twice for house shows, and it's ridiculous. If you
Yeah.
guys are listening to this, and if you have the experience or you haven't experienced it, you need to, because it's a great one. Just being that close to the action.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know how it happened because when they went on sale for the pre-sale, I got on it right away, and I got out in 10 minutes, and I still got second row. So I'm like, I don't know how that happened. But
Yeah, a lot of it they'll save front row tickets for promotions and
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
for
for,
radio
contests.
and
Radio
stuff.
stations will get them to give them
Yeah, and you said you did the pre-sale, which was 2-3 days before.
Yeah, it was on a Tuesday, I believe. I
Oh,
remember because
really?
I did it in class while I was.
You
Because we
should
were in
be
the
learning.
computer lab that day, so I was like, I have to do it. I have to be
Yeah.
there, yeah. And I even sneakily fixed the printer while my teacher was giving a lecture, and I was like, I need to print out these tickets. And it was alright.
That's dedication right there,
Yes.
folks. Dedication.
That's what we call priorities.
Exactly.
Education, WWE, you decide. Well, let's talk about some of the guys that are supposed to be scheduled to be coming down here tomorrow. Of course, they're doing a show in Las Cruces tonight, and we'll kind of know what the card's going to be just based off of that Las Cruces show, because, of course, the results will come out. I'm not going to look at them. I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
So, some of the guys that we have coming down, we've got, of course, Randy Orton. We've got the Shield coming down that I know you're excited for. We'll get into that a little bit. Well, as far, I guess, the Shield, and we're going to have Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to have Cesaro's going to be here, the King of Swing. We're going to have, maybe Heyman will come with him, which I think would be cool.
You might remind us about something that happened earlier this year.
What was that?
It slipped my mind. I can't really remember it anymore.
No, I can't.
We have Rybaxel, which I am so not excited to have come. Mainly Ryback. I'm so not excited to have him in the state. We have Fandango. We have Dolph Ziggler, who I'm pretty stoked for. Fandango's going to be with Layla. I think they're doing a mixed tag. Dolph's going to be with Summer Rae, who I'm very excited for. And Goldust.
Hashtag them legs.
Them legs.
Goldust, Cody Rhodes. I think that's pretty much all that I've heard.
Yeah, that's
We're going to be
all I've
coming.
heard,
I think Sandow's coming.
Okay.
Who cares?
That's
But,
if he comes in a stereotypical gimmick, I will laugh.
oh my
Hard.
God. What are they doing with that guy on that note? Pretty much just, just going on a Sandow rant for a minute. The dude won Money in the Bank a year ago, and he was kind of a joke as whenever he held the Money in the Bank briefcase, they kind of like forgot about him. He wasn't really mentioned at all.
Yeah.
Wasn't hardly on TV. All of a sudden he cashes it in against Cena and loses, and it's been a downward spiral since. You guys, are you Sandow fans?
I liked him. I thought he had potential to do something because I liked the way he worked and I liked like the cartwheel and stuff. And I thought
Right.
Rhodes Scholars are really great. And
Yeah.
I thought at Money in the Bank when he like betrayed Cody, I thought, oh, this will be great because I thought maybe it would be like a Money in the Bank match for the briefcase, and I'd be like, this is Cody's opportunity to
That's
get
what
it.
I thought too.
And they kind of just didn't do anything with it. I mean,
Right.
he threw it in the river, but like that wasn't really anything worth
Right.
noting. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's like a little bit sad when they drop the ball with people like that. But he was by no means my favorite. I just
Right.
thought, oh, well, maybe he could go places, but
Tony?
Yeah. I like watching him in the ring. I was kind of excited. I was actually really excited when you won Money in the Bank. I thought that was going to be, like for everybody else that wins Money in the Bank, sort of their springboard up into bigger and better things.
Totally.
And, when it wasn't, when he just lost to Cena, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's the end of that. And then, like you said, it's just been that downward spiral ever since. So I'm really not sure what they've got in store for him or what they plan on doing with him.
Yeah, and it's weird because a couple weeks ago on the pre-show, they had him come up and interrupt, and he kind of did like a pipe bomb type thing where he just kind of went off about the management and stuff, which was interesting. And then the next week, he's like dressed up as... Who is he dressed up as? I don't remember.
was it Davy Crockett?
Yeah, he's dressed up as Davy Crockett. It's like, I was just totally blown away. I was like, what are they doing? They just totally forget the whole pipe bomb thing,
No.
I did enjoy him as Magneto with Hugh Jackman, though.
That was funny.
Yes.
That was interesting. I enjoyed that.
That was good. I totally forgot. How could I forget? Bo Dallas is coming.
Oh, nice.
Do you believe, Adam?
I believe. I wasn't a believer at first, but after I saw his thing on NXT where he lost and he had to leave NXT, and he just had a big old temper tantrum, and everybody was chanting, "Bo, leave!" and I was laughing so hard.
Right, because he's like, "You leave."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna call the cops," but I'm a fan. I don't think he's the better Rotundo brother.
I think he's like the anti Bray Wyatt because
Yeah.
he's so chipper and so happy and like
Right.
So and then it's like darkness and lanterns. And
Yeah.
It's just
Cryptic.
for balance then.
Yeah, it's good. See, so they're opposite sides of the
Yeah.
Rotundo spectrum.
Totally. Are you
And then we
guys
have IRS, who's just
IRS?
yes.
Are you guys digging the Bo leave gimmick?
I think it's really
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I like it because it's so over the top,
Right.
and that's just what makes me enjoy it. And it's like the fact that it kind of bugs people is what makes me laugh about it because he's like
Right.
he's so happy and he's
Yeah.
so serious about what he's saying. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, totally. I'm excited, and I'm excited to see what they do with him. A lot of people are kind of like, "Oh, I hate him. Just put him with Bray Wyatt." Everyone wants to see a feud between him and Bray Wyatt just because they're brothers. And it's funny because Peter mentioned it when he was here. He kind of said everybody, when Bray Wyatt comes out, everybody will chant Husky Harris at Bray because obviously we all know it was him.
Yeah.
And he hates that. And I'm kind of the same way when it comes to Bo Dallas and Bray. Everybody wants to see him wrestle just because they're brothers. I'm like, dude, we get it. They're brothers. I don't want to see him wrestle though, really.
Yeah.
Maybe down the road they'll turn into a good storyline that reveals that they are brothers. I don't think so, but who knows. So it's a huge show. I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to see everybody from the wrestling fan page. Aubrun, Peter, Maria, Tony's going to be there, and countless others. So I'm excited to see you all, meet you all, if I've never met you before. It should be a good show. I'm excited, and you guys obviously stoked.
Yes.
Definitely.
Person I'm looking forward most to seeing is Cesaro.
Cesaro, dude.
Cesaro fan.
I totally want to talk to you about that because when you were here the first time, you mentioned how much of a Cesaro fan you were, and now that WrestleMania's passed, he obviously won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and now he's with Heyman.
He's a Heyman guy.
Yeah, dude. How are you feeling about that whole gimmick?
I'm super stoked about that. I love that he's got his sights aligned with Heyman for right now.
Oh yeah.
Ever since WrestleMania and he kind of broke away from Swagger, he's just been taking off on his own.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
just been flying. So.
And you did mention it, like I said on your very first interview before. This is when he was still with Real Americans and stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned it that you want to see him in a bigger spotlight, and it's happening, man.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked. I'm kind of wanting him to move on to the upper level as far as being a main event guy. I wasn't excited to see him challenge for the U.S. title.
No.
But
I think for Cesaro, it's just going to be a matter of time before he's in that main event.
yeah, dude, the guy can have ridiculous matches with anybody. The matches he had against Cena that one time in February, and I think the next week or that same week he fought Orton, and he beat Orton, which was
clean.
Nice clean win.
It was good.
How did you feel about that, Maria?
I mean, I was surprised, definitely, but I think it was good for him. And
I agree.
it's nice to, like, have those people that get, like, clean wins over certain people, because it's like, oh, well, maybe this is, like, the guy that's going to move up soon. So it gives you kind of, like, that faith a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I do love Randy, but, like, I do love seeing the development of others as well, too. So I'm not like, oh, Randy lost. Oh, they're burying him. This is awful. No, I'm not going to do that, so.
I probably would if it was Brian, but moving on. So totally stoked about the show. We're going to move on. This last weekend was WWE Payback. Following the heels off of let's go ahead and jump to NXT Takeover first because that happened, and again I talked about that with Peter as far as the card. You both saw it. Match of the night, what do you guys think?
Ooh, man, I think for me match of the night was definitely Charlotte versus Natalya.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I really enjoyed that match, and like I was expecting to enjoy it because I thought, I've seen Charlotte and I've seen Natalya and I've seen that they can both go. And then just seeing them together in that match and the time that they were given, I was like, see, the Divas can do something and they can, like, give good matches. And I think they totally, like, stole the show. And I think that, like, I was so hyped after Charlotte won because I wanted her to win. Because I don't think anybody. I should speak for myself. I didn't want Natalya to win, so like I wanted Charlotte to win, and then like Ric Flair crying, and it was just it was pretty good.
So you got hyped.
Yeah.
Did you stay hyped?
Yes, I stay hyped.
Good.
I thought it was a good match. Obviously I don't think Natalya had a chance to win because really it's supposed to highlight the future of the business. Natalya's been in WWE for probably 6 years or so. Her winning, I wouldn't say it would be a bad thing for the belt, but I think with them going the direction they are with NXT, it should have been Charlotte. And I was surprised. I haven't really seen a lot of her work, but for the most part, I was surprised at what she did in the match. I think it was good. I think it was just as good as Paige and Emma at Arrival. But we'll see what happens with Charlotte. She's got some high expectations, being a Flair, of course. I'm glad that they acknowledged she was a Flair.
Yeah.
Because at first I didn't think they were with her name. But it's awesome that they are. So we'll see what happens. Tony, did you have a favorite match from Payback? From Takeover?
Adrian Neville, Tyson Kidd.
Dude.
Phenomenal match.
That was a great match.
From start to finish. There wasn't a slow moment anywhere in that match. I
agree, man. It was very cool. They had a lot of cool reversals. And it was like seeing, it was like they were wrestling a mirror. Yeah. Pretty much.
Neville just wouldn't leave his feet. No matter what Tyson did to him, he just landed on his feet every single time.
Oh, yeah,
it was
dude.
fantastic.
It was great. And it ended with the Red Arrow, which is freaking awesome move. I love that move. So I thought that was a great match. It was overall a great show along with those two matches we mentioned. I thought Sami Zayn and Tyler Breeze had a great match. I'm really liking the Tyler Breeze character. Of course, Sami Zayn is awesome. And just the future of NXT is bright. And we'll see what happens. How are you guys feeling about Tyler Breeze challenging Adrian Neville next for the title?
I think it's good because I thought, like, immediately, because for some reason I thought that Sami Zayn was going to win because he's been on such a hot streak lately. Yeah. So I was really surprised when Tyler Breeze won, but it was like a pleasant surprise. Right. So I was like, maybe this solidifies him as like the top heel in NXT right now if he's going to challenge for Adrian Neville's title. And I think that what they have like going with Tyler Breeze and like even his new theme, like with him singing over his theme, I thought, oh, that's just perfect. It's like the cherry on the sundae. So
Right.
at first I was like, what happened to it? Because I thought his old one was really catchy.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
agree.
I jammed to it without change. So like when he changed it, I was like, oh, what is this? But then like hearing it, and I was like, oh, that's him. So I think that just adds to his character, and I really enjoy him. So I'd like to see where he goes.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely. And so it was overall a great show, and I'm excited to see what happens next. If I was WWE, I would totally save Neville versus Zayn for a title match as the next live
Yeah.
WWE show, because I think that would be ridiculously awesome. Keep them both as good guys. Don't turn one heel, and they could tear down the house for sure, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Obviously, a few days later after TakeOver was WWE Payback, and we're going to talk about that now. We all know what happened. Payback, you guys both saw. What did you guys think? Match of the night there.
Oh man. For me, I'd like to think that NXT Takeover was a lot more memorable than Payback.
Okay.
And like this might sound biased, but like the match that I like distinctly remember out of the whole pay-per-view was Evolution versus The Shield in their
Okay.
second dance. Just because for like in that match I legitimately had fear that like The Shield wasn't going to win because they got like the stuff kicked out of them.
Yeah.
I was like, this is intense, and like Roman just getting like beaten over the stairs, and Seth coming off Titantrons, and people getting hit with chairs. I was like, what is going on? I don't know. And
Utter
for me,
chaos.
yes, and it was good chaos.
Yeah.
So that was really the only match that I like had like my full attention on, I would say, for the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely the highlight of the show. I think you're right as far as saying it didn't keep up with TakeOver. The younger guys definitely put the pressure on the main roster guys. I don't think the main roster... I mean, they had good matches. I just don't think that they beat what TakeOver did in those 3 TakeOver matches we mentioned. But it was still an entertaining show. I enjoyed Sheamus versus Cesaro. I thought Wade Barrett and Rob Van Dam had a fun match. Me and Tony were actually talking about the whole Daniel Bryan situation.
Moment of the night.
Yeah,
Stephanie getting
dude.
slapped.
Breeze
Hard.
definitely. I was surprised, and
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw it coming. You could see the reaction of the crowd.
Yeah,
And there's
it was,
oh.
Yeah, and then 9-10 slap.
There you go. And of course, the main event was awesome. And I was concerned with time because I kept looking at my phone for the time, and it was like 10 minutes before the show started or before the show ended, and there was no eliminations. Like 5 minutes before the show ended, no eliminations. And then like right then is when they started eliminating back to back to back. But it was overall a good match. Do you think it was better than their match at Extreme Rules?
I think so. I
Okay.
think I was a lot more emotionally invested in this one just because they were getting beat up so badly and it like hurt my soul. So I was like, I need them to win, but for like, unlike Extreme Rules, like I actually had the genuine fear that they weren't gonna win. And what I noticed is that they weren't eliminating anybody. So I was like, well, maybe they can do this. And then when they just started eliminating people, I was like, yes. And then so it was good.
Were you guys surprised by the clean sweep of the Shield defeating Evolution 3-0?
Not necessarily. I don't know that I was really that surprised by it. It's one of those where it's like they just had their first match not too long ago. There was a huge build up for it.
Right.
And so at this point, it seems like when Triple H and Ric Flair formed the original Evolution with the two of them, Orton and Batista, they were basically looking for 2 people to just launch into the spotlight.
Right.
And I feel like they're doing the exact same thing with the Shield.
Okay.
But they're using Evolution as a whole to propel another group into the spotlight.
Yeah, dude, I could totally see that for sure. Yeah, dude, the Shield has been on fire. I was totally surprised that they got the win there. I thought it was going to be Rollins and Ambrose going out first, and then Reigns was going to take out Orton and Batista, and then he was going to be left with Triple H. I thought Triple H was going to win. So I thought this would be kind of to even the loss.
Down the
And
wire
then-
type of thing.
Yeah, and then do maybe a bigger match. If not, Money in the Bank Battleground is coming up.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna go something there. Totally surprised by the victory of the Shield. I thought Evolution would win, but it was a good swerve, I think. And talking about swerves, let's just go on to Monday Night Raw with what happened. Of course, if you're
Plan B.
listening to this and you don't know what happened, Plan B went into full effect on Raw. Maria, I know you're heartbroken at this. Why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody if they don't know what happened?
Just rip the
Okay.
Band-Aid off for everybody.
Yeah.
Basically, Seth Rollins is a scoundrel.
Oh, no.
Harsh.
But yeah,
Tell us how you really feel.
I feel like I'm on like the therapist's couch. Feel like, let us hear all of your emotions. No, but Seth Rollins basically turned on his brothers seconds after Reigns called them his brothers. So
Right.
that was like the added punch in the gut, and I was just so. That's what Triple H called his Plan B. And I don't know if Seth Rollins. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to join Evolution, but I think this is going to be like a bigger picture to launch all three of them. Hopefully, because I do like all three of them as individual competitors.
Yeah.
So, just I'm trying to keep my composure and be like all of these feelings and stuff. But I was definitely very shocked when it happened. Like, I think Dean Ambrose's face like says the whole feeling of the general fandom.
Doesn't it always?
Yeah. So.
How do you feel about it, Tony? What did you think about the possible breakup of the Shield here?
I hope it doesn't happen. I feel like the Shield still has more in the tank.
Right.
I personally feel like they should still be heels.
Okay.
I don't think they should have turned face just because they were. Just with the way they showed up on the scene, it just seems like they should stay heel.
Okay.
You know?
I think it was. I can't believe I'm saying this because at the beginning of the year, I was like, the Shield's run its course. They need to break up. It's time for them to do their own thing kind of deal. I was actually impressed by their face run, man. And
I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's just one of those where it's like, it was a good decision to turn them face. I just feel like they should have maybe stayed heel a little bit longer.
Okay.
Just to maybe see if there's anything left for that.
Yeah. I think it was just totally out of the blue because with their wins over Evolution, it seems like they were going this whole new thing with the face Shield, and just to have that idea kind of pulled from you with Rollins turning. And it was weird because I saw him with the chairs, and then right when he like started swinging, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, did you hear that guy from the crowd? He was like, "No!"
I did it.
Like, so if you go back, there's a guy like if it's like a scene from The Lion King or something. Like the second people hits Roman with the chair, this guy in the crowd is like, "No!"
Right before it hits.
It's great. So.
And then I thought for a minute, oh, Ambrose is part of the turn, and I thought Ambrose was gonna like stare at Rollins, and then start hitting Reigns.
Yeah.
It's the thing that kind of bugged me about the whole thing is that they focused. It seems like they just focused on Reigns. They didn't focus too much on Ambrose.
No.
That kind of bugged me a little bit. I'm like, dude, Ambrose is just as much involved in this as Reigns is.
Yeah.
But hopefully that changes. Of course, the remaining Shield members did not show up on SmackDown. Did you guys watch SmackDown to see what Rollins said?
I didn't because I was traveling over here for yesterday, so I didn't get to see it. I'll have to see it, but I haven't.
Well, spoiler alert. Rollins came out with Triple H, and he was still in his Shield gear, and he got the mic, and he said, he pretty much said he didn't have to explain his reasons for doing what he did to anybody. The only person he has to explain it to is himself. And that was it. And then he fought Dolph Ziggler in what was a cool match. It's interesting for sure, man. I'm kind of... So, Tony, you don't think it was a good time to break up the Shield as far as... You think they should have done more?
I think they should have stuck together for longer.
Maria, you think the same?
Yeah, I think I have the same general consensus because I do think that they still have a lot of potential to do things.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not completely mad at it. So, like, if they do end up breaking up, I won't be, like, completely against it. But I do think that they still have a little bit more time together. But I'm interested to see where things will go. So.
What do you want to see happen now? There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people are saying, well, maybe this is a plan to have Rollins infiltrate the Authority and eventually just get in deeper and then eventually just show that he's been with the Shield the entire time.
Yeah.
And then just take out the Authority from the inside. Do you think that's a possibility? What do you guys think about that?
I honestly don't think that's a possibility. I mean, it is an obvious possibility, but I don't believe that's something that could happen. I think that this is like a bigger picture for all three of them.
Okay.
So I think this is like, with all the stellar matches that they've had, because I don't think like since their debut they've had a bad match. That's just my opinion. I think all of their matches have been really great, really stellar, so I think maybe this is the time where they're like, hey, we think you three are awesome and this is how we're going to send you off in your three directions. I think this is just their general faith and being like, hey, we're going to make 3 stars out of you and this is how we're going to do it. So I think maybe this is their launch pad. I like to think of it.
Yeah.
So, quick follow-up question, because this is going to happen somewhere down the road.
Okay.
Rollins is going to have to fight someone from the Shield.
Of course.
Or he's going to wind up fighting them both.
Yeah.
Who would you be more excited to see him fight?
Ambrose.
Yeah.
Definitely, because their FCW matches are really, really great.
Are they?
if you haven't seen them, I recommend you see them because they're just really great. Cause, when Seth was the FCW champion and Dean was challenging him, like their promos back and forth and their matches were really great. So that's what I'm really excited for.
Oh, cool.
I didn't really see much of Reigns stuff when he was like Leati in FCW.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see much of him. Actually, the first time I'd seen him was when they debuted as the Shield.
Oh yeah.
So like.
Same here.
I'm more excited for him to face Ambrose, definitely.
I think it's going to be awesome, man. That feud, whether it be a feud via triple threat or one-on-one, I think those three have really just been a highlight of WWE programming the last year or so. And even if this is the end of the Shield, if they don't, get back together as a trio, the accomplishment they made in like the year and a half that they were together,
fantastic.
yeah,
yes.
It pretty much outshines. They're by far the top trio in WWE history.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put them against anybody. I'm not counting, like Freebirds. Freebirds weren't in WWE. But can you name another trio besides the Wyatts in WWE and 3MB?
3MB.
Oh, 3MB.
Like before this, there was no real, trio teams. It was all stables of like 4 guys, 5 guys, or tag teams. But another thing I actually wanted to talk about, just if the Shield does continue, do you think they would add a third member? A replacement?
I don't think they should. I think
Right.
that like the Shield is basically like ran its course the way it's supposed to, and I say if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So for sure, I don't want them to add another person. I really hope they don't.
Yeah,
I
Tony,
think they could run as just a pair.
for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it'd totally be a step back if they added somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, then they basically got to work this other person up to their level.
Right.
And then there's all these. Basically,
man.
they have to fill these shoes
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
Of what
somebody
you've
else
done.
that left, and then it's like, then it's of course not going to be the same.
Yeah. Like,
Exactly.
Kind of like looking at Nexus versus New Nexus.
Yeah.
dude,
and
yeah,
just-
exactly.
And then we have like the CM Punk conspiracies. Maybe he'll come back and join the Shield.
I think.
It's like, what, WWE's in Chicago again? Punk coming back.
I know. I think the Punk conspiracy is going to be continuous until God knows
He's
when.
gonna be an
No.
urban legend.
Pretty much. That's what it's
And
boiled
every
down
time they're in
to.
Chicago, the rumor is going to start firing up again.
Oh, I know. I'm a huge Punk fan, dude. I know you are too, Tony.
Yeah.
But I'm done, man. I don't think he's coming back. And if he does, I don't think it'll be for a very long time. I'm talking years.
Mm-hmm.
Bret Hart status.
Yeah, Bret Hart stats will just come with like, a shocking announcement in the 2022 Hall of Fame. CM Punk is the first inductee. That's what I think will happen.
By God.
Yeah.
What will be a fantastic surprise is if Heyman gets inducted into the Hall of Fame by Punk.
That would be cool, dude.
Or Punk and Austin.
Oh man, who would? We're totally going off.
Induct him? We're getting so far off.
We're getting
topic right now
so
with
far
this.
off topic.
Time capsule.
This is for another.
Seriously.
This is for another episode of Ring Awareness. But the other big thing coming off of the Raw after Payback was the status of the WWE title. It's been up in limbo since Daniel Bryan's injury, and now it's revealed that at Money in the Bank in a couple weeks, either Bryan will defend the belt against Kane in a stretcher match if he's healthy, or if not, the belt will be defended in what they're saying a Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
First off, it's not a Money in the Bank match if it's for the WWE title. It's a ladder match for the WWE title.
Yeah.
Dude, there's been a lot of stories coming out with Bryan's injury, how severe it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they were going to strip him, they should have just done it at the beginning.
Like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't give us false hope.
Yeah, because that's what I feel. I feel like there's false hope, and now we're going to see Bryan participate at Money in the Bank, and if it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
what do you guys feel about this situation?
I think if they, like we just said, if it was something where they know that he's not going to be able to defend it, just pull it off of him. Don't really drag it out.
Right.
Because I think that would affect his title reign as a whole. Because,
Mhm.
I mean, we had all this build-up this whole last year of him getting to the title.
Yeah.
He finally wins at WrestleMania, and then they're like, nope. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like gone. And it's not memorable. And I feel like after the journey he got, like, even the documentary they made for him and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like it wouldn't really be for anything if his title reign wasn't all that stellar.
Yeah.
It would just kind of be, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Fair.
such a slap. Like, and it's nothing. It's not his fault. It's not nobody's fault. It just sucks. The timing of his injury was just terrible.
Yeah.
Just coming off of the ridiculous high that WrestleMania was.
I mean, I guess they might be on the fence with how his injury's going to heal, so they're just trying
Right.
to wait it out to see if he can make it through without having to be stripped of the title.
Yeah, and I think that's kind
So-
of the route they went. I think that's
Yeah.
why they haven't stripped him right away, because there was hope that he'll be ready by Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, recent reports, again, like, a new report comes out probably daily on his status, and just from what I've read, a lot of people they don't want him to come back too soon when he's not ready and just further his injury, which would totally suck. But at the same time, I'm drawn. I want him to remain champion, but I want him to come back 100%. I don't want him to come back, 80%.
You don't want him to be an Edge.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Because that thing happened to Edge, and we don't want to see a repeat of that. If we do happen to have the WWE title defended in a ladder match at Money in the Bank, let's just say that there's going to be 6-7 people in that match. We know now Del Rio is one of them. Who would you want to be the other 6 guys in that match fighting for the vacated title?
Cesaro.
Okay.
Yeah. Cesaro. I'd like to see Ziggler back in it.
Ziggler? Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing Ziggler at all. Even
Maybe.
though he did lose to Del Rio, I'd still freaking like to see Ziggler in that main picture. Would you like to see somebody from the Shield or Rollins, Reigns, Ambrose in that?
Oh man, if I could, I would like all 3, but that's probably not possible. So, I think basically maybe the favored one would be Reigns because I think they're most high on him out of all 3. So I think he would be the more favorable one out of all of 3. And then maybe even like Cody Rhodes because I know he was in the Money in the Bank last. Even though he won't win, but I think I would like him in there.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if they put like a bunch of like younger guys in there, like kind of the route that we're kind of saying right now.
Kind of like the roots of Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it'd be it would be awesome, man. I wouldn't hate that at all as long as Ryback is far away from that match. I am down.
Just to keep things interesting, we can throw Sin Cara in there.
Yeah, why not?
Or Kofi. Kofi is a great like spot monkey.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is true.
I like to call Kofi the more accurate Shelton Benjamin. There were so many ladder matches at Shelton, and I'm a huge Shelton Benjamin fan, but he would just like mess up spots, and not that it was his fault or anything, but Kofi, like I haven't seen him mess up a spot.
Especially in the Royal Rumble, he's one of my favorite people to see in the Royal Rumble because of the things that he does. Like what is he gonna do this year?
He's like, he's gone. Nope. He jumped to the wall.
Yep.
Cool.
Or he's hopping in an office chair.
Right. Who would you like to see? So let's say title's vacated, ladder match happens. Who do you want to see win the title at Money in the Bank if it is vacated?
That's an interesting question.
I want to see Cesaro, but that's just me.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just at the same time the only thing I'm worried about is like with a young guy winning the title, I don't want them to be like an afterthought because I just reminds me of like Jack Swagger when he won that title really early and like no one remembers that like today. So I always want them to be really careful with who they give it to, like if they're especially young, if they're still up and coming. So I think maybe I would say Cesaro as well because I think he's the most prepared for them and he would be like the best option out of everybody that we named previously.
He's had titles. He won the Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Right, he's kind of got the momentum
on that trail, as opposed to somebody that just pops up and is like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm the champion now."
Yeah. Right. I think it would be good. I don't want to see
Ryback, of course.
Of course, I don't want to see Ryback. I've been on that pay-per-view card. But I don't want to see, sorry Maria, I don't want Orton to win it. I don't want Cena to win it. I wouldn't hate if Del Rio won it, but I don't think Del Rio has enough heat right now. I'd really like to see a powerful heel win it. So I really don't know who that would be with it not being, maybe like Triple H. And like I really don't want to see Triple H win it either.
It's shovel time.
Right?
Bust out the shovel. So I'm just going to go and say CM Punk's going to win it. So I'm just going to open up that door again.
By default.
Yeah.
Now this is how rumors get started.
Yeah, seriously. 24 hours watch. Everybody's going to be talking about CM Punk's going to be at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. We seen him at the airport.
So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely interested to see what route they go for Money in the Bank. It seems like a whole possibility of options. I just hope it's something new again with the whole it not being Orton or Cena. That's something old. I wouldn't, even if it is Triple H by chance, at least he hasn't held a belt in a while.
Yeah.
So if it leads to a match with him and Bryan one-on-one again, I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah,
that would be a good way to circle it around.
Even, you know what would be epic, but I don't see him competing in a ladder match, would be Brock Lesnar.
Oh damn!
If he won a title, just with the heat he has by far the the most heat of anybody in
As
WWE.
long as Heyman reminds him not to try another shooting star press,
Oh God, please.
I think he'll
no.
be okay.
Don't do it. If they could somehow get the belt on Brock Lesnar and maybe have Brock versus Bryan at SummerSlam.
I think that would be intense because he's reeling off that win.
Yeah.
That I just can't remember right now. It's just
Yeah,
escaped my
I just
mind.
can't remember who it was against.
I don't remember, but
I feel like it was a high-profile match, but
It's repressed memories. That's
Yeah.
what
it's repressed memories.
you got to figure if he after doing what he did, and then if he's the next champion after Bryan,
Oh
That's
boy.
set up for
Dude.
a fantastic year.
yeah,
I mean-
dude, it would be ridiculous. And
Mick
honestly,
Foley would probably break his TV again.
but it would be for good TV. Like I think it would be an epic. It would be another mountain for Bryan to
So-
climb.
Are you saying it would be best for business?
You can quote me on that. Best for business. Brock Lesnar should win the WWE
Who
title
are you, Adam Merrick?
because I really don't know who else should take it, man.
Yeah.
Besides, like Cesaro would be good,
Yeah.
but if they really want to kind of, change it up, mix it up a bit, I'd say Brock. So that pretty much does it for this edition of Ring Awareness. Again, you guys, I'm excited to see everybody at the Rio Rancho show tomorrow. Tony, Maria will be there along with so many others. You guys want to say anything before we sign off?
Oh yeah, if you see me, don't be afraid to say hello, because I'm just as awkward as you are. So yeah.
Tony?
I'm gonna have to side with Maria. I think there's just a lot of awkward people in the circle. So
Yeah. Don't be afraid. Come up to us.
yeah.
I'll be wearing something Batman or CM Punk. So,
And I'll have an Ambrose sign. So yeah.
there you go. So I'm excited for this show. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. Thank you, Maria, for coming by again. Tony, three time.
Yes.
We gotta
get me to 5.
Yeah.
at
It'll
least.
it'll happen, bro. It'll
Future
happen.
Ring Awareness Hall of Fame member.
Yes, right here, first inductee.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this, and I look forward to seeing you guys again at Rio Rancho tomorrow night at the Star Center. Until then, this is Adam Merrick signing off.